Today we're going to talk about a really effective warm-up strategy that you can use so that your practice sessions are healthy, productive, and focused. Because if you're doing the right thing for a warm-up, you're going to be ready to play in a way where there's less tension, your mind is ready to be in on what you're doing 100%, and that's going to make you more productive. All right, so when we're warming up, the three things I really think we're focusing on are our large muscles getting warmed up, our smaller muscles getting warmed up. This is what we do kind of by playing and starting to get playing. And then we're making sure that something we're doing in our warm-up is helping us focus and get into the right mindset. So if you can take a good warm-up plan and couple it together with the right practice plan and you're utilizing your warm-ups in the best way possible, you have a really powerful combination that can actually transform what you're doing with your hands and help you break through any of those barriers that you may have hit or find yourself struggling with along the way. So if you're someone who is spinning their wheels, maybe you're just watching YouTube videos like this one and it's getting confusing because there are so many videos out there and some of them are really good, but others aren't, and then trying to figure out how you use them all together to create a plan for yourself can get overwhelming. Or maybe you're someone that hit one of those plateaus and you're not sure how to break through it. You need that little expert guidance to get through it a little farther. Or maybe you know that you're ready for a teacher and a little bit of guidance along the way, but you just haven't found the right person yet. If you're any of those people, then I have a challenge for you. All right, and this challenge is the 3-day challenge. And in those 3 days, we're going to build your personalized practice plan. We're going to learn about the science of productive practice, what we can be doing differently to have a world of difference in our outcome when we're behind the drum set or marimba or whatever you're playing, because this works for all of it. Okay, and the third thing we're going to work on is sort of showing you the secrets of the traditional rudimental practice style. Okay, these are methods that haven't been handed down in a book anywhere. They've just been passed down from generation to generation, from teacher to student. And I've found with hundreds of my students in the last decade that this approach not only helps them learn things faster, but it helps them break bad habits quicker and more easily than anything else we're doing. All right. So if you're interested in that challenge, it's a 3-day live challenge with me. Go ahead and click the link in the description and check it out. You'll get more info in the link, and hopefully I'll see you there. All right. So let's talk about your daily warm-ups. I think it needs to involve these 3 things: a large muscle warm-up, some small muscle warm-ups, and some mind warm-ups and some focus. So let's make a little room here so we can get started. We're gonna go through this together. So if you wanna do this with me, feel free. That'd be awesome. Okay. First, some large muscle stuff. Okay, and we're just gonna do some arm circles. Here we go. Circle them forward. 10, 15, 20 if you want. That's okay too. Then we're going to circle them backwards. Same thing. I'm not really counting right now, but for yourself, when you do this on the regular, 10 or 15 would be great. Okay. Then you can go straight up and down to get the arms swinging straight up and down. Again, this is for loosen up those shoulders. As you do this one, you might start to feel the blood flow into your fingers a little more. All right, so maybe you sit all day at work, or maybe you do some sort of more laborious job and you have sore or tight muscles from doing that all day. This is a great way to loosen up and get nimble and get ready to drum in a healthy way. So now we're doing some just arm crosses back and forth. A lot of this stuff that we're doing now is like chest and shoulder and back, getting those large muscles warmed up that connect to our arms and our wrists and our fingers. For this one, right now my hands are this way. Turn them upside down. You're going to get a little bit of a different feel here. You might not have as much range of motion. That's okay. Go as far as you can. Keep it comfortable. Okay. Next, we're going to do some shoulder raises. So raise them up and drop them down. Raise them up and drop them down. Now you can just roll those shoulders back. Try to bring them up to your ears and roll them back. Good. Roll them forward a little bit. Very nice. Next, we're just going to do a little bit of a neck shoulder warm up, because I know your shoulders go up to your neck. There's a lot of tension in here for a lot of us. And then we get behind the drum kit and we start doing this, and then we are feeling sore and stuff when we're done, feeling tired. So I don't like to do the full head circles. It makes me a little dizzy. So we're just going to start chin here at your left or right shoulder, whichever you choose, and bring it down to the next one. Sorry about hitting my microphone here. So just rotating that neck. You should kind of feel a stretch here. And then you're going to do the upwards one, just from one side to the next, feeling all this stretching in here. Very nice. Now next, you're just going to do some wrist circles. Okay, you circle them. I go away from me first to the outside of my body. Okay, and then I'm going to circle them back this way. While you're doing this, you're going to start your focus. Okay, this part of it starts when you start doing this large muscle stuff. Next, you're going to bring your right arm across your body, and your left arm is going to pull it across. So while you do this, normally I wouldn't be talking, and you would just be starting to focus a little bit, right? Start to think about your breathing. I like to take deeper breaths when this happens. When I'm doing this, I start to kind of get rid of all of the different things I did during my day and all the things you're thinking about. You're going to lock your fingers behind your back and just pull them downwards. Again, you're being gentle with all of this. You can add a little head tip in if you want. So focusing on your breath, start to think about what you want to practice today. What's your goal for your practice session? It's important to know that, okay? Next, you're going to put your arm out straight, and you're going to keep your fingers together and just pull the fingers back gently. It's important to keep that elbow straight. I don't want to see any bent elbows. You're not going to get really an efficient stretch, and it doesn't matter how far you can pull here, but it does matter that this is straight for me. You're going to hold it 10 seconds to 30 seconds. Okay, then you're going to let the wrist fall down. You're going to pull it in this way. Again, 10 seconds to 30 seconds, you're going to hold it. And you're just thinking about what you want to do in your practice session. You want your mind to be thinking about drums. Even if you only have a 20-minute practice session today, or if you have a longer one, maybe you can practice for an hour. It doesn't matter how long the session is. If it's focused, it's more effective. All right. So same thing with the other hand. You're going to straighten the arm out. You're going to pull this back from the fingers, keeping them together. And then drop it down. Pull it in this way. Again, this is straight. A lot of people start bending when they do this one. All right. And then you can take your hand this way like you're shaking somebody's hand, and the other hand's going to come on top and just pull it down this way gently. Cool. Do some more wrist circles. Get some of these going. All right, you can go the other way too. It's okay for whole arm moves, right? But you're kind of focusing on that wrist circle. And then shake it out a little bit, all right? That's going to get just the blood flowing. You're warmed up. If you don't have time and you just want to do like 5 circles of 5 lifts and 5 swings, like that's okay. It's still going to help get the blood flowing a little bit. And that's the important part, because when we start doing our playing now, when we're playing, that's when we're really starting to incorporate the smaller muscles, right? All the wrist and the finger muscles. All right, so the next thing I might do for a warm-up, if I have an extended warm-up time, is I'll drop my hand down, I'll get the fingers going. The wrist is also crooked, so the stick can get pulled up into our forearm, with our fingers. So you're going to keep your fulcrum here, holding the back of the stick, and just get those fingers going. And then do one at a time. Pointer finger only, middle finger only, ring finger only, and then go back. And then switch hands, right? So you're doing some this way. Again, it's important that that wrist is bent down. That creates the space you need to isolate the fingers. Pointer finger only, about 10 of those would be good. Middle finger only, and ring finger only. And then go back. Pointer, or middle, and then pointer. All right, so that's a good way to warm up your smaller muscles if you have time. Sometimes I don't do that one, all right? But you have that info now. If you want to do it, you should do it. Small muscles now will be activated a little bit more while we play. We're going to start to incorporate our muscles working together. And we're not playing like flute or kazoo, so it's okay if you're getting your heart rate up. It's okay to get the blood flowing and to maybe even, you might start sweating a little bit. That's okay, all right? That's totally, I think that's a good thing for us. So first, I do an 8 on a hand exercise, and I use a metronome, okay? And I use that to track my tempos, to track my speed. This is part of the focus thing. Without the metronome and I'm just playing randomly, there's a little bit less focus to what I'm doing, and it's gonna impact how I focus when I jump into the stuff I wanna work on for that day. So this is just gonna get the wrist moving, and as you speed it up, it becomes more of a finger exercise and gets the fingers moving too. I do 150 beats per minute, and then I jump up by 10. I do 160, 170, 180, and I do about 10 each time. And that's my warm-up for this section of the warm-up. All right, so we'll do 150 together. Here's our metronome. All right, exercises down here if you want to play along. Jump in, and here we go. Right hand first. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Cool, so we did 10 reps on that one. And then we're gonna bump it up one more. We're gonna go to 160. And this time I'm gonna play it at different dynamics. So every time I repeat it, I might go soft, I might go loud, I might add a crescendo, I might add a decrescendo. Get some sort of extra stick control in your warm-up by adding these dynamics, because that's what it is. Adding dynamics shows stick control stuff. All right, so play along with it. You can try to copy me. I'll try to let you know ahead of time what I'm gonna do, but let this be sort of playful. Don't let it be, it has to be super soft every time. Like, let your warm-up be a little bit playful, and it allows you to kind of really dive into what you're doing and forget about the world around you. So first is a normal forte dynamic. 160 is our tempo. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. I'm gonna decrescendo here on the alternating. Keep it soft. Now I'm gonna crescendo. Loud. Soft. Ah, yeah. Loud. Soft. Good. Crescendo here. To our big ending. All right, so go ahead, play around with stuff like that. Let it be fun. Let yourself use your creativity. All right. Now, these tempos I picked because they're what I do in my system for myself every day. I know that 150 is a tempo I can play even when I'm cold, even when I'm not feeling warmed up. I know I can execute 150 well, and that should be your starting tempo. It should be whatever tempo you can execute well, even if you're cold and not warmed up, all right? But we don't need to go super slow either with this exercise, all right? Next, I would do an 8 on a, or we just did an 8 on a hand. I would do a little bit of an accent tap exercise, okay? And that is going to be something you utilize in all of your playing. If you're playing with any sort of musicality, you're using accents and taps at some point, because accents create interest in our playing. They can kind of almost be like a melodic texture above whatever the underlying strokes are. So we're going to slow this one down a little bit. This one is going to be a little bit slow. This is going to be 100 beats per minute. Okay. Now, if this isn't slow for you, that's okay. Drop it down to 70 or 80 or whatever you need to drop it down to, but you don't want this one to feel taxed. You want this one to be something where you really focus on the accents being one volume and the taps being one volume, and just like sort of flawless in your execution. Okay, here we go. So right hand is first for this exercise. 1, 2, ready, go. Left hand. All right, so how I utilize that exercise is I'll do it slow. If I'm not warmed up and I feel cold, I'll start that at 80. And I'll rep it 2 or 3 times, and I'll bump it up a little bit, and I'll rep it 2 or 3 times on each hand, yeah? And then I'll bump it up to a third tempo, okay? Again, the goal for this one, it's more about, it's kind of like locking in the mental expectation you have for yourself. The mental expectation should be what you want it to be. How accurate can you be? This is where you're really pushing yourself to think about the details of your playing. All right. Whereas with the 8 on a hand exercise, there's not as much opportunity for that in that exercise. So I use this one for that. And then the third and final warm up that we're going to do for today's warm up is going to be a roll exercise. All right. And it's going to be based on a triple based roll. And it's going to be developing the bounce strokes and passing them along the check pattern. You'll see it as we do it. Follow along right here. Here's the first rep of this exercise. Our tempo, 100 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. All right, number 2, 1, 2, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Number 3, 2, 3 triplet, go. All right, this one, number 4, we're gonna have 2 strokes per hand now. Well, two bounces within the triplet. 1, 2, 3 triplet, go. All right, next one is going to have 2 bounces still, but we're passing them to the last 2 eighth notes of the triplet. Check it out here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, triplet, go. The next exercise is going to have the bounces on the first and the third note of the triplet. All right, we're still at 100 beats per minute. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, triplet, 4, triplet. All right, and the last one, we're just going to double stroke every note of the triplet. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, triplet, go. Make sure you're lifting those tips of the sticks up. Nice, even double strokes. All right, so I do it at that tempo. It's a pretty good tempo where you can get nice, big, open, even double strokes. It's utilizing your finger control for it. But I'll do that exercise again, and I'll bump it up a little faster and a little faster. It's going to get more arms involved. I'm going to have to play a little bit lighter on the surface of the drum. So it gets us to do some other things in our warm-up. Now, you don't have to do those exercises in that order. Sometimes I start with my accent taps. Sometimes I start with the rolls. Most of the time it's 8 on a hand, then accent taps, but sometimes I'll do accent taps, then 8 on a hand. You don't also have to use these exact exercises, right? So I want to do something with single strokes to get my hands moving and work on some speed stuff. I want to do something with rolls, so I'm working on my double stroke control. And I want to do something with an accent tap pattern, because without that, everything you do in drumming will be not as good as it could be, right? That's something I always want to do every day, is an accent tap pattern, but it doesn't have to be that exact exercise. There's tons of exercises out there that you can utilize in your warm-up, which helps keep it interesting. But start with some large muscle stuff, get moving a little bit, then the finger control, if you want to add that in. But all the small muscle stuff comes from, I think, actually playing, get those fingers working with the sticks. I also recommend warming up with a little bit of a bigger stick than you would be playing, like if you were playing on a drum set. It just allows the hand to be a little more opened, and within that openness, you get a little bit more relaxation while you're warming up. Those smaller sticks, a little bit more closed off, and you'll be able to adjust to them well when you get to a drum kit. All right, so those are my recommendations for your daily warm-up. This is the most important part of your practicing. If you're not warming up those muscles, you can be, really stiff and sore when you're done, maybe causing injuries long-term that you're not thinking about. Your practicing will be more efficient because now you can just put your focus into your practice goals that day, and your hands and your muscles will be able to do what you want them to do. And also, it will just get you into that mindset where you're ready to focus, where you're pushing out the rest of your day. You're not going to worry about anything else. Drumming can be sort of a release of stress. It can be a time and a place where you get away from all of the outside stuff that you might worry about in your day. So use your warm-up as a time to transition to that focused state of mind for drumming. All right. If you're checking out my challenge, go for it. It's going to be really productive for anyone who is seriously trying to make their drumming better. So click that link below and check it out. As always, please subscribe and write in the comments what you want to see next. Have a great day. Keep drumming. See you next time.